So it all started with a Facebook post regarding a bird of prey that was deemed to have been shot over at the Crowden Valley. The local RSPB put a post on Facebook, peregrine falcon found shot at Duffstones. All the local Facebook pages started sharing this information about a bird of prey that had been killed. The local public started name dropping myself and my family on Facebook. Certain words that I can't really repeat, getting a lot of abuse. It was that savage, my sister had to come off of Facebook. Couldn't even go to our local pub for a pint without having snide comments. I couldn't even go to Tesco's in the village and get dinner without somebody that recognised us saying, oh, he's done this or that family's done that. And not one person even questioned it. They didn't even say, is this real, is this not? Where they'd actually found this bird of prey was classed as Duffstones Reserve, but it's 6 miles away from here. Totally different area, a totally different county because it was Derbyshire. I was pretty confused as to what was going on, but a local RSPB member from this reserve, and I said, well, what's this? Why is it saying Duffstones? Why am I getting attacked? The answer I got was, they was meant to let me proofread it before publishing it. So this hadn't happened, it had been overridden and they'd published it without the person that I know reading it. What it had caused is so much upset and so much trouble, which I totally understand because these sort of things shouldn't be happening. When I spoke to the local unit, they did change the wording of it slightly, but who goes back and reads a Facebook post when it's being put on? I'm getting abuse and my family's getting abuse for something we had no involvement with. And it isn't a one-off sort of thing. I feel that we're getting victimised in this industry. We're only trying to make a living and keep things going in the countryside.
But these days, I'm some kind of evil, nasty person due to the propaganda machine who portray anybody who's anything to do with grouse and moorlands and shooting as the devil. It's not just me, but there's lots and lots of people involved with the countryside. I think the RSPB's agenda is not about looking after birds. It's about making money and persecuting anybody involved in any kind of countryside sports and activities. And the truth about lots of things is not said.
I think the conservation side of things is overlooked because, oh, we don't like you shooting. I could take anyone onto our ground and show them lapwings, curlews, dunlin, the redshanks, the snipe. But if it's not on their reserve, it's overlooked because they have to be seen to be doing better. The rarer the red-listed birds that they should be promoting are here in abundance on our estates and a lot of other gamekeepers' estates. And I think it's pathetic really, because if you're a charity that wants bird populations to be managed in a way that's for the future, if we've got red-listed birds that are growing in numbers, why can't they say, yeah, you're doing a decent job there, and take note?
So having been a gamekeeper for 30 years, RSPB was once a recognised bird charity. We've worked with RSPB on various projects, but it just seems to be the last 5 years or so that we have had these huge shift in hostility And the crucial difference between areas managed with a grouse shooting interest is the fact that we are fledging these young birds. We aren't just providing nesting sites. Our populations are increasing, and we cannot understand why these other organisations are so vocal when they're not doing their bit for bird species. And what is the hostility all about at the end of the day?
I don't think they want to admit that on certain rewilding areas that their numbers are dropping. Moors for Future did a bird survey on a lot of moors in the Peak District, and I remember the numbers of birds, the red listed birds, were much higher on these managed moorlands than the RSPB moorlands in the area. Believe it or not, the data vanished. It didn't get published, it didn't get acknowledged. Your RSPB areas get all the funding. I think it's a joke.
These so-called reserves are now turning into jungles. There's not the diversity of habitat what there is on the grouse moors that are managed. Why do they come to these moors? To nest, because this is the habitat where they want to be. But if you have a jungle of long, dense cover and growth, you won't see them. And I mean, this spring so far, I've lost count of how many wildfires there've been. It's been horrific.
Nowadays, huge increase in wildfires. In the Peak District alone, 2018, we've had Saddleworth. We've just had a fire encompassing nearly 200 hectares of pristine moorland. That was the end of April. We had 15 estates turn up, 22 gamekeepers and 2 farmers, several helpers. If you take the equipment into account, resources to get that equipment here and our time, we total that up to £960,000. That is something that the estates will swallow, just helping a neighbour. But this is no cost to the public purse.
The fire brigade, they stretch to the limit, resources, keepers and farmers and helpers assist in these matters. All these tiny, tiny species of birds, all ground nesting. You get a wildfire, all the nests are gone. And it's been going on for a number of years now.
Avoidable if we are allowed to carry out management techniques which have been tried and tested and implemented by land managers.
It's a lot bigger than just protecting birds. You're protecting a whole ecology system, you're protecting a whole ecosystem of every animal and insect, not just birds. And the predators are controlled. You never eradicate predators, but if you control them. But what we hear from the RSPB is we're all evil, murdering, nasty people. Anybody to do with moorland management and keepering.
I think it's a joke how much funding they've had in Orkneys for the reduction of stoats. They've obviously accepted the stoats are a problem up there. It can be accepted up there, they need to get rid of the stoats, but on our moorlands and habitats we're managing, it's seemed as a very dirty sort of practice. Portray us as being killers, and because they're a big charity with a big following, there's definitely a little bit of a smoke screen to make the habitats look in dire need of assistance to get this funding.
We're looking to work together, sustainable moorlands, but also the rural communities, which are the lifeblood of areas such as we're in today. These other organisations aren't doing their bit in producing fledgling young, and we are.
I certainly think if the RSPB did want to work with a few land managers and gamekeepers, we could improve so much together. Land managers have changed the practices. We're all doing the re-wetting, we're all doing what's asked for us, and we are achieving, with our management system, some great results with the red listed birds in the area.
There seems to be this hatred bred within their propaganda where people who probably know nothing about anything read this, and if you brainwash people enough, they believe it.